Maseches Bava Metzia. Where are we in Bava Metzia? Remind me, please. Mem Hey Amud Beis. Yeah. Beautiful, stunning. Okay, Maseches Bava Metzia Daf Mem Hey Amud Beis. Before we continue, I want to answer questions from before. Yaakov had a question. Why does it say in the Mishnah Azov Koine Sakesef? Azov Koine Sakesef. The Shiur Nishmas of Imre Menachem and Akiva. What's Bashan Sobas Moshe? And Yeresha Bas Elchanan Yitzchok. Chana Batzima. Lefus Chana Batzima. Ay. Besoch Shachol Yisrael. Many Chodim Hashem should help all of them. Now, what does it say in our Mishnah at the beginning of the perek? Azov Koine Sakesef. Why don't we say Azov Nikne by Kesef? Isn't Zov being bought by silver? The answer is no. The answer is no. According to Bishama, absolutely not. When you pull the Zav coin as a kesef means to say, when you take the gold coins, from the other party, you're the one who wants to receive coins, and you're the one who wants to give later on. You'll give him back. You'll give him in return silver coins. You're a money changer. Well, if we say that the gold is a commodity, once you pulled the Zav coin, the Zav created the kinyan now, which you cannot revoke. What's been koines a kesef, by the way, is not such a great term, because it's not that the kesef is yours; he owes you money. It's mechayev a kesef, as we said yesterday. So koines a kesef means to say, Zav is exactly like shoes, socks, computers, or cows. Once you pull it to your domain, you, Mr. Buyer, done deal. Nobody can return, can revoke and change. Now you owe money. Of course, you owe money. You can owe money for many reasons. You owe money for the purchase you've made. Ever heard of credit cards with 36 payments? You bought it 3 years ago and you still see it in the statement? Welcome to the real world, right? Did you ever buy that thing? Yeah, you bought it. Now you owe money and you pay it later. That's the way it goes. Because Zav comparing to silver is considered a commodity, and silver comparing to gold is cash. Is considered as money. And that's about it. Now, better? That's why it's coined. It creates the kinyan. We are now in the sugi of Chalifin. We're in more or less in the middle, but I can't go back. It's getting late. But Chalifin, we are, when you count from the narrow lines, we have with base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, eighth line from the bottom of the narrow ones. Elamai bedomim. Yeah, good. Elamai bedomim. Now, we spoke yesterday about a new kind of kinyan called kinyan chalipin. Let us get a bit warmer here with kinyan chalipin. What's kinyan chalipin? Chalipin, lahachlif means to swap, to exchange. That's what it means in Hebrew. Now, no. The Torah tells you in the story of Ruth HaMoaviyah, that Boaz gave, different explanations, but Boaz gave his shoe to an owner of the field, who was related to Ruth and Naomi, closer than Boaz, and therefore, once he gave him the shoe, of course, the shoe is not worth the value of the field. But since the owner of the field received what? A shoe from Boaz, in return, the second the shoe was given, that symbolized the finalizing of the kinyan. The kinyan is done. Now the field automatically belongs to who? To Boaz. And he also married Ruth at the same time. 2 for the price of 1. Yeah. Now we say what? From here we learn kinyan chalipin. Kinyan chalipin, by the way, is a very, very major kinyan. And now I understand what the Chavrusa told me always. Kinyan chalipin, it says in that pasuk, shalofish nalo, a person should stick out and give away the shoe. And then lekayim kol dobo. Anything can be bought with kinyan chalipin. Kinyan chalipin is very unique. Kinyan chalipin was born in Los Angeles. You know why? Because he accepts everybody. Yeah, kinyan chalipin, except for Hasidic Jews. Yeah, the kinyan chalipin is such that you can even be koine karka and metaltalin. Everything can be nikne bechalipin. Also fruit. The question is about coins, right? That we'll discuss today. And yesterday we discussed, can a coin be the shoe? Can the coin be that symbolic item that you give your friend, and in return, his stuff, his item, his motorcycle is automatically purchased by you? Up until now, by the way, I spoke about one type of chalipin. That is a symbolic one, because everybody knows, unless it's very, very fancy shoes and very cheap apartments. Yeah, 1 second, please. Yeah, shoes are not worth apartment. It's symbolic. You got something for me. Oh, that means, now your field is mine. The other type of chalipin is actually more straightforward, and that is a cow for a donkey. I never owned any, so I don't know. But I'm saying they're worth more or less the same. And therefore, if I switch, the same thing works. And also by money. Oh, in other words, let's say I want to give you 25 coins of silver for 1 coin of gold. Possibly, and that's a question, maybe it works by Chalifin. In other words, maybe it works that I give you one of them as a symbolic what? Or not symbolic even. Like the par and chamor, the item you got, now you owe me automatic. Now you owe me. Now I'm the owner of the stuff by you, of the silver coins. Or let's say I want to buy your field bikini in Chalifin. Instead of a shoe, I take the coin, right? The coin, I give you a coin which is worth 10 shekels, and I'm buying your $10 million apartment. Of course, I owe you money. But can we say that just like the shoe given over symbolizes kinyan and creates kinyan, and now the field is mine, the field is not owed to me, it's mine. The second the shoe is in your hand, yeah? Do we say the same thing about a coin? Why not? We saw it's Machlokes Rav and Levi, and one of them says, we don't know who, that a coin is worse than any other thing. Why? Because coins are not really worth anything. Why? We said yesterday, and I think people here you got the point nicely. And that is, yeah, everything in the world can break, but then you see that it's broken, you're not going to use it. Every food almost can rot, you're not going to use it. Yeah, what you get is what you see. The Maimer HaKosuv. But Lemaise, a coin is very misleading, right? It's the same German mark or whatever French franc, which looked very nice and shiny, but it's out of circulation because now we have euro, right? In other words, a coin is up to the decision of the melech. And because a coin is not a real thing in a way, and the person who got the coin has his das, very nice. I spoke about your question yesterday with Mechavrusa, and he agreed with me. When a person gets a coin, even in the olden days, don't listen to all these archaeologists and all the other people who talk about the Gemara. Back then, we see clearly in the Gemara, people didn't just care about the coin as its weight. The weight was also a factor, but a major factor was coins in or out of circulation. And back then, kings would kill each other right, left, and center. And all of a sudden, the coin of yesterday is garbage today, right? So because the person received the coin, he wants a coin. He doesn't want a gold nugget. A coin has value as a coin in the bank, in the circulation. Once it's out of circulation, it's nothing. Because coin has that chisaron, says Rashi, it's like half a kli. Just like you can't give a broken kli or half a kli, you have to have an entire shoe, not just the sole, let's say. It's Gemara says that. Kli sholem. Therefore, here too, for a coin, according to those opinions, a coin is not nikna b'chalifin. So how does the Mishnah work? How does our Mishnah work? Oh, elamai, you can start reading now, bedomim. Remember, we have 2 ways of explaining our Mishnah. Yeah, when the gold is switched with the silver, what were the 2 ways to learn the Mishnah? The way which I told you all the time, which is true, that's bedomim. How does it work? I pull the gold. Which kinyan is that? Meshicha. Is the money mine? No, it's owed to me. Your silver coins happen to be owed to me, just like a credit card or a check. Okay, fine, but I prefer maybe the silver coins, as we're going to see. The other way, which we just disqualified yesterday, is Chalifin. What's Chalifin? Chalifin means I pull the golden coins, and then your question would be actually more valid. I pull the coins not because kinyan meshicha. Once I receive the coins, it's like switching 2 commodities. It's like switching a cow for a donkey. Once I pulled in your cow, my donkey is yours, wherever it is. And it's not owed to you. It's yours. It can be Makdish, Mekadesh, a woman, Kefel, all the Bailus. The Gemara proved that this is not the case in their Mishnah. Because if both Zav and Kesef would be commodities, it can be Dutch swap, then why do you say Kesef and a Kohen is Zav? Right? It should be mutual. I don't care with currency or shmarency. They're both like donkey and a cow. Therefore, the Mishnah went back, and that's a maskana. Guys, you can relax. Yeah? The maskana is like I told you all the time. It's not chalipin. It's not a swap. It's not a swap in the Mishnah. It's meshicha over the commodity. Happens to be gold. Yeah? And now the money is owed to you. Yeah? You buy now, pay later. No? Ever went to a store with that slogan? Yeah? Give me a tashlumim. Okay, in other words, yeah, it's owed, the money is owed, and that's about it. Now we're going to encounter another problem with that, but the etzem, this is the structure of the Mishnah, and right now we're geared towards saying that kesef, but a coin, is not a good chalipin item, okay? Because of its, problem, its shortcoming of not really intrinsically having value. The value depends on an exterior factor called the government. Yeah, the Minister of Finance, or however you call it in America. Yes, a quick question. We didn't really start yet, so I'm not so keen on questions, but Keenan Gallery doesn't let me. Yeah, Ellen, I can see you too. Yeah. So let's start the Shiur. Baruch Hashem. Frag the Gemara Elamai B'domim. So you just told me now, you proved to me through fire and water that really our Mishnah talks about Kinyan with money, which means Meshicha that creates a monetary debt. Is that so? Ihachi, if so. Ema Reisha, look at the Reisha of a Brisa, which explains our Mishnah. It says in Brisa, Hazov Kohen is a Kesef. Okay, good enough. Ketzad, how does that work that the gold buys you the silver? Machar ledina shel zov be-25 dinarim shel kesef. Okay, one sold his friend the dinar shel zov. How much it's worth? 25 dinarim of silver. Kevin shemoshach esazov. Once you pull the gold, then what? It's a done deal, right? The gold was pulled. That's mashicha sametaltelin. It's like pulling your motorcycle, your computer. And then what happens? Nikna kesef bechol makom shehu. Now the kesef itself, right away, the silver coins are automatically yours wherever they are. So that is not really so good. Why? Why? Omar, as I told you, there's a difference between owning and owing, which means by Chalifin, and I want to stress it now before we continue. One of the major differences between Chalifin versus Meshicha, in Meshicha, as I said, I got it from Osher and I did Meshicha to the yogurts and the milk and the bread, right? Now I owe the money. If I don't go to the cashier to pay, I'm a thief, I owe the money. But it's just owing money in general. How will I pay? Check, credit card, pounds, or euros, whatever. I don't accept it. Yeah, whatever. It's time of debt. Masha'en ken by Chalipin, if I switch one coin with the other, or anything with the other, it's not owed. It's mine already. Yeah. In other words, if I do Meshicha, I have to decide, I have to pre-decide, by the way, Alan, it's a good point what you said. I decide, let's switch my beautiful modern phone, yeah, with your hat. You have a very nice beret. Let's switch my phone for your beret. Once you got my phone, the beret on your head is mine completely. It's not you owe it to me as a general thing. That very item on your head is right now mine completely. I can be makdish, mekadesh, get kefil from the Ganev completely. So here's the difference. Therefore, now if something here doesn't really work right, because we say once I pulled the gold, the silver, wherever it may be, the silver which is right now in the pocket or in the drawer or in the change of the silver owner, is completely owned by who? By the gold guy. That's not so good. Says the Gemara, if you say that the functionality here, the way it works, the silver versus gold, is chalipin, is swapping, is switching, like we don't want to say, but if you say that makes more sense, that makes sense to say, that's true, that's a chalipin work. The kesef, wherever it may be, those 25 coins, the specific one, not a general debt, they are owned with an N, not owed to me, they're owned by me. Yeah, completely. Makes sense. Eliamad bedomim. But if you say that the idea is what? I pulled the gold, right? Right now, whoever pulled the gold owes, O-W-E-S, owes his friend money, then it's not true that the money belongs already to the person. It's owed to him. It's owed to him like I owe with my credit card what I bought a month ago in Osharad, right? And therefore, hi, Frek the Gemara, the Lashon here is Nishtas Loishain. Nikna Kesa B'chol Makom Shehu. No. Nischayev Gavar Miboilei. The Brisa should have said that the person owes the money. And it doesn't have to be those 25 shekels. It can be in any other form of coins, right? It can be a check and whatever, whatever they have, yeah? It's something owed. It's not something owned by me. Sounds like it is chalipin. You want to say it's not chalipin. Maybe the man Domer says that Matbea is doing chalipin, maybe he's right. It's not what we're saying. Omar Ravashi, no, he answers like this. No. I'm sticking to my gun. No. Really, first white line. Really, the Mishnah, as we said, as we keep saying all the time, and we'll say till the end, the Mishnah talks about kin and wudomim, which means Meshicha that created the debt. What does it mean b'chol makom shehu that it's bought wherever that is? Kimois shehu kide omar lei, which means, let's say they made a side condition, yeah, and the owner of the silver coins, yeah, which theoretically could give him anything, they decided amongst them that they want, meaning the gold owner, who's selling gold and wants to buy the silver, he has a shtick in his mind. He wants those 25 coins. Remember, back then, money would rust quite quickly. Not like today. Of course, the metal wasn't as good as today. Tarnish, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Tarnish. Okay, tarnish. Okay, they go bad. Okay. So now the gold guy who wants to get the silver, let's say he told him, I want these 25 coins and not others. That's why they're owed to him in whichever state they may be. Explains the Gemara elaborates. Let's say the silver owner who's selling the silver and gets gold, the original owner of the silver, says the gold to the golden guy, oh, hello, Mr. Gold. Yeah, I'm going to give you, you know which 25 coins I'll give you? From the new wallet, which means from new coins, new shiny coins, right? I'm going to give you new ones, and that's a condition. He cannot give him old coins. Well, what's the chiddush? Of course, you promised new, so I'm giving you old. There is some advantage to old coins. Old coins, they have their advantages. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why, but Lemaisa, that's what the Gemara says. Could be that the old coins may sometimes be better. My time. So why do you insist on the new coins? The Omer leyashnan kabaina lehu. I want to keep the money for a long time. I want to keep the money for a long time in my drawer. Therefore, I want new money. Because old money, yeah, after it's going to stay there for a long time, it's going to tarnish. It's going to go bad. That's why I prefer a new one because I want it to have long shelf life, long longevity. But one thing you have to understand here, the point is really, again, I don't know. Let's focus again. Enachinami, we're talking about Mashiach. And regular Mashiach, I pooled your gold. You owe me any 25 silver coins. In today's world, that would be bank transfer, a bit, whatever, cryptocurrency. But the reason why we say that in the Mishnah, you have to give him those 25 specific pieces, coins of silver, because I made a condition. Simple. I made a condition. Yeah. And that happens today too. Let's say somebody sells you something, yeah, the Mashiach, and he made a condition before, give me cash in notes of 50. Let's say he doesn't want credit card, no this, he's afraid of the taxes, whatever. He wants cash in 50. Okay, that's a condition, right? So even though it's a debt plus a condition. That's why we said the 25 are nikna in dafka, that shape and form, not another shape and form. That's all. But be'etzem, we stick to our guns. The case of our mission is not Chalifin. Why not? Because there is an opinion here, which seems to be the prevalent opinion, that says that money cannot serve as the symbolic, or I would say the starter, the catalyst of the Kinyan Chalifin. Because money is not so good. Money doesn't have its own value like the Nal. Again, you always have to compare it to the story of Boaz in the book of Ruth. Yeah, there he gave something real. A shoe is a shoe. It can go bad. And yeah, a currency is not a shoe. It's not enough of a real intrinsic thing like a metaltalum. Okay. Now, Amal Popet. Yeah, Amal Popet. Now we're going to discuss another point. We're going to discuss now the opposite, the mirror image of what we just said. Up until now, we discussed what? Money being the catalyst, the starter of the Kinyan Chalifin, like the shoe. The one that I give, and then the other thing is automatically acquired by me. Now another question comes now, and that will be probably the question that will follow us the entire Shiur. Can money be bought, the passive one? Oh, let's call it active and passive. Yupa, I found the word. Yeah, because the active side of Kinyan Chalifin is what you give, and the seller gets, and there's a passive, the land. In the story of Boaz, imagine yourself Boaz standing in the field. He wants to marry Ruth for very heilige reasons. He gives a shoe that's active. The field didn't move anything, didn't move anywhere. That's only in Islam, yeah? The field stayed where it is, and it was automatically owned that very second, by Boaz, right? So there's the active part, and the one being bought is the passive part. The question now that arises is, do we say that the kesef, money, coins, can it be acquired, the passive one, can it be acquired through Kinyan Chalifin? Yeah, let's say I want to give you a shoe, because I want to buy your cash, your coins, your silver coins worth $10,000. You have silver coins, you have coins worth a lot. I'm giving you my shoe symbolically, and then I automatically own your coins. Yes or no? Can coins be bought with Chalifin? Yeah? Not can they create it, can they be bought with it? Yeah? That's a question. Amal Popet, says Al Popet. I feel that, of course, it's going to be a machloekes, it's going to be back and forth. Even according to the one that says matbea cannot create the chalifin, right? Cannot be the shoe, can't start the process. Coins are not good enough to make chalifin. Why? Why? Because we said the coin is not really like a shoe, doesn't have its own intrinsic value. But but they can be bought through chalifin. You give me a shoe for my $10,000. The $10,000 are yours. They were bought through chalifin. How do you know that? Midi, just like the apera le Rav Nachman. Oh, we're going to see later on in about 2 dapim. We're going to see mechloikes in the Gemara whether fruit, apples, oranges, or the truth is, says Rashi, any metaltalin that are not a kli, not every metaltalin are a kli. A gold nugget is not a kli. For mukta, for tuma v'tara, on Shabbos, not everything is a kli. A stone in the park is not a kli, right? Anything that's not a kli is called a kli in the financial terms of the Gemara. Says Rav Nachman, in Boaz's story, he gave a shoe. A shoe is a real kli, manufactured by Gucci. It's a shoe, yeah? Mashenken, something that's not a shoe but fruit, something you eat, something you play with, not something really a kli. Those things cannot be the catalyst, the starter of the kinyan chalipin. They cannot create a kinyan chalipin. However, Rav Nachman lav afal gav de inhu loav b'chalipin. Fruit or stones or sticks cannot create chalipin. Nevertheless, aknu miknu b'chalipin. They can be purchased through chalipin, right? Yeah, my joke from a chavrusa was, just because I don't know how to bake a cake, which I don't, unfortunately, it doesn't mean that I cannot eat it. Yeah, I don't know how to bake it, but I can receive. I can accept the cake. Yeah, and that's the word. Yeah, on Shabbos. Okay, get it? Some things are not strong enough to create the kinyan, but passively they can be bought through the kinyan, which is a fruit according to Rav Nachman. So too, b'chlipin, kivanami lo ishno amatbaya. A coin is the same according to a papa. A coin, cannot create the kinyan chalipin, but can benefit from it being nikne with the kinyan chalipin. So far, so good. Basically, that's a very cool story over here. Now we're back to Meister Sheni, but it's not as complicated. So you tell me, let's say you have a lot of grains, Baruch Hashem, you had a very nice Be'esiyata D'Shma agricultural year, very nice. Now you're standing in your goren. What's a goren? A granary, something like that, yeah? You're standing in your granary, and what do you have there? Tanai Nahor, a lot of Meister Sheni. You can't schlep it to Yerushalayim. It's too much. You don't have trucks. What do? You sell it? You meant to say that you exchange a kedusha over money. It's not selling. No, it's your own. You don't sell it. You don't sell it. Selling it to another person, not to yourself. No, I'm sorry. I'm just because I like you very much. That's why I want to improve even more. Selling is when I sell my shoes to somebody else. Pashenk and poide means it's all mine, right? And I'm poide, I exchange the kedusha of the Paris Master Sheni. You imagine yourself arrows into where? Into the money. What do you do with the money? Take it to Yerushalayim and eat nice food in Yerushalayim. Very nice. Now, how much is the pidyon? Well, what do you mean how much? However much the fruit is worth. Yeah, but is there a difference whether I use my own money or if I'm put other people's fruit with my money? Chomesh, yes. Chomesh, Chachami made like a not it's midoraisa, nonsense. You didn't hear that. Midoraisa, the Torah says, Chamishisa Yosefolav in a few places. Remember, but the Gazlan that admitted the Chomesh, an additional fifth, which is really an additional fourth, if the person is poide his own fruit of Meister Sheni over his own money, it's all his own, then he has to give an extra fifth, an extra chomesh. Yeah, let's say it's worth 20, then he has to give another 4. Don't argue with 4 and 5 because it's really a fifth. He gives a fifth, or a fourth. He has to give an extra. So if my fruit are worth 20, I'll have to give 25 or 24. Why should I do that? Many people wouldn't like to do that. Either they're poor, miserly, whatever. They don't want to give the extra. So what do? If I redeem my from my money on my friend's fruit, a little bit more like you were saying, then really we say you don't have to give a chomesh. If I'm poide, I take my money and I'm poide from Peretz's beautiful holy Meister Sheni. I say Peretz's Meister Sheni fruit and with your agreement, with your concession, your fruit, the kedusha and your Meiser Sheni fruit, the kedusha is going to fly now into my coin. That's okay. I don't have to give a fifth. It's more like a knas, and the person himself, knas medoraisa. Lo mishane. That's the halacha. That's for sure the halacha. Now we're going to see a guy. You're going to meet a guy here who wants to trick the system. Yeah, he wants to trick the system. He wants his friend to do the pidyon for him. Now that is not so easy. Why? Because one of them, either the fruit or the money, has to belong to the friend. Now I have fruit, I have money. My friend has no fruit and has no money. Now, either how can I trick the system? How can I do if you've been here long enough to know it's combina? How do you say combina in English? Loophole. Yeah, the kids he's looking for loopholes. One of the two can be done. Either I say to him, listen, I magnet you my fruit. I stay with the money. I'm giving you my fruit. The fruit will be yours, right? And then I'll be mechalel from my money into your fruit, which were mine, and it will come back to me. Rashi says you have to do it only with the guy that you trust. You shouldn't take the fruit and eat them all up or sell them to whoever, right? In other words, either I can stay with the money, give you the fruit, and then I'm halal with my money on what's now your fruit, and of course it'll give it back to me a second later, or the other way, I can actually stay with the fruit and give you money. I'll be magnet to you the coins. Yeah, the other guy has no coin and no nothing. Yeah, my friend who wants to help me with the combina. Yeah, that's the other way. Get it? Right? In other words, take money and you be pointed with what's temporarily your money on my fruit. As long as we separate, we divorce the money from the fruit, we're good to go. Okay. Now this guy is an additional problem. This guy is standing, let's start reading. Meisibi. The Ein B'Yodem Mois, he's standing in the middle of the Gor and all happy to do Meister Sheni, but he has no Mois. Yeah, two problems the guy has. He doesn't have money in his hands. Where's the money? Hey, darling, where did they put the money? Oh, it's in his house. His house is 10 kilometers away from the field. He wants to do the Meister now. The Mois, the coins that he would like to exchange the fruit on the coins, the coins are not there. They're at home. They're 5, 10, 15 kilometers away. Now, he also, by the way, wants to play the trick and do the combino. What can he do in order to trick the system? Yeah. If you don't have the money on you, what would you say? You tell your friend, look, the fruit that are here, I'm giving you b'matona. Why one way or the other? That's a matona. Yeah. And then he says, yeah, now the fruit are owned by who? By the friend. They are. He gave him matona to the friend, the fruit. Let's say Reuven is the owner of the fruit and Shimon is the friend. Okay? Reuven, the owner, tells Shimon, take my fruit. Now the fruit are temporarily, so to speak, owned by Shimon, right? The Reuven, the real owner, the brain of the system, says, very good. The coin don't have to be there. He says, that Meiser Sheni that belongs now to Shimon, really belongs to Shimon for now. They are mechulal with money that is not here. I know that I have money in my house, and that's absolutely halachically okay. Meiser can work with Wi-Fi. Yeah, in other words, that's all fine, all good. So far, so good. Zok the Gemara, let's go deeper into the story. Time. So first of all, we saw, by the way, that the money doesn't have to be there, right? True? The fruit that are owned by Shimon, what? Right? And they don't have to be. I say that the fruit that are in my house 10 kilometers away, the money in my house, yeah, the kedusha here is transferred to the money in my house, which is 10 kilometers away. Very nice. So the Gemara is medayek something. Taima, the only reason he plays that game is the Ein B'Yodei Mois. How did the Bryces start with? The Bryces said, or maybe it's a Mishnah, Ein B'Yodei Mois. He doesn't have coins in his hands. What would be the difference? Let's see his coins right there. Wouldn't be the same thing, right? Same thing. I'll give you the fruit, right? And then I'll say the fruit that belongs to Shimon, I'm a chulal on my money. Why do you portray a case that the money's not there? Says the Gemara, you know why? Because let's say the money would be there. Let's say the money would, yes, be there on the table here in the granary. It would be much better if the other person actually buys the coins, not the fruit. A better combina, a better trick would be, and so I'll explain to you why. Yeah, out of the two options, it would have been better that if the coins were there, Shimon would get the coins, yeah, and then Shimon would say, I, Shimon, am mechalel with my coins, I mechalel the fruit that belong to my friend. Why? Da'ache odif. It's better like that because it doesn't stink. It doesn't look like a kombina. I'll explain why. Daveli nochri, because he's really a stranger, which means this guy Reuven is stuck. He doesn't have enough money. He doesn't want to do it. He wants, he wants to separate the fruit and the money. One should belong to him. One should belong to his friend. And this way they'll get out of taxes. They'll get out of what? Out of paying the chomesh. Now, the better option, says the Gemara, if both fruit and money would be here, the far better option is what? The fruit should stay in the hands of Reuven. Why? Because everybody sees and everybody knows what's more noticeable, a whole big pile of fruit or some coins in the pocket that all look the same. Of course, it's much more noticeable and clear that the fruit, and he worked on them the entire year, belong to Reuven. So it looks nicer, looks better, and looks less of a, not a lie, looks less of a kombina if really the fruit remain yours, Reuven, and the money goes to Shimon, who is a real foreigner, who is a real stranger, and Shimon, with the money that he got, he's poide with what? With his newly acquired money on the pile that really belongs to Reuven. But Shenken, the shtick you're doing now is b'di'evid, is because you have no other choice. Because what are you saying? The fruit that belongs to Reuven, and everybody knows where Reuven's all the time, and it's his pile, all of a sudden, at the 99th minute, all of a sudden, you give it now to Shimon, it's ki'ilu his, and you, who are the real owner, Reuven, you are poide with the fruit that look like yours and smell like yours, and you just made a kid into Shimon. Doesn't make nice. It's doable, but it's better enachinami to do what? To be makne to him the coins. Then very good. The fruit remain mine. They remain mine. They're always mine. Our mine will be mine. The money, money changes all the time. I gave him some money. I gave him some frutas, and now he's changing. And he's doing. He's a friend. He's a foreigner. He's a stranger. He's doing the kinyan. Now the question is, okay. Now, if we say so, really, let's put two and two together. Now get to the punchline. Ideally, the best kombina to do, the best trick to play is what? Give him the money. But because they don't have, now I understand the whole story here. Because he doesn't have any coins around, Reuven has no coins, Shimon has no coins. There's no coins. Listen to my sentence. There is no way, says Reuven, Reuven, can give Shimon the coins because the coins are far away. So there's no way I can give him the coins. Therefore, I have to go to plan B, to the next best thing, which is not so good, and give him the fruit, and he's going to schlep the fruit. I'm asking you a question. Is that so? Why can't a person, you guys tell me, isn't there any way in the world that a person standing 10 kilometers away from the coins cannot be makne the coins to his friend? I think there's a kinyan, starts with a ches, ends with a nun. Frag the Gemara, according to your Papa, ve'i omart, if you want to tell me, matbea nikne bechalipin, if you want to tell me the matbea can be acquired through chalipin, nikne lemois leheach, agav, sudar, lifroik. Sudar, what's a kinyan sudar? Ever been to Mechiras Chometz in your lives? Yeah, wow. Yeah, what does a Rav do? A handkerchief, a pen, a kepale, something, a hat. Yeah, anybody has that something around, unless you're very poor. Says the Gemara, wait a second. Why are we so stuck here and we have to go to all these funny combinos instead of what? Instead of actually saying, okay, my money may be in Brazil, maybe in Australia, machpat. I'm maknit you bechlipin. You, Mr. Shimon, give me your sweater, give me your handkerchief, give me your tissue, whatever, as long as it's a kli. I don't tissue is a kli. Give me some kli, and then the money of mine will be yours, wherever it is, owned by you right now. Elamai, Elamai must be wrong. Must be what? That really money cannot be acquired through Chalifin. We don't know why, but that's beginning to seep that idea. Not only money cannot do Chalifin, money cannot benefit from Chalifin. L'choira. Says the Gemara, no. The answer comes quick and harsh. The leis sudar ukimta. You know what? This guy, Shimon, has no sudar. And Reuven has no sudar either to give him. What? What's that? He would have worked, yeah. Reuven could have given him a sudar and then he would give it back. Neither Reuven nor Shimon have a sudar. Very good. That's what the Gemara is going to ask. Yeah, so they're both naked in the field. Kind of cool. Now, that's a good question. Frag the Gemara, v'nikninu ne'alei agav karka. Now comes the question, Mechlokas Rashi Tosef, it's a side question. Let's just read it and go with the flow, and then you'll see. Comes another Mechlokas, and everybody here in the room knows what Kinyan Agav meant, right? Kinyan Agav is, I want to sell you my land, and I want to sell you some metaltalin also. Do you have to buy the metaltalin each one separately? No. You do a kinyan, you the buyer, you do a kinyan on the land. How can you be coin on land? Anybody? I just became religious a second ago. What? Chazaka? What? Walk in is a form. You both right? Nice. Chazaka, you behave, you either walk in all around, no go to upalats, you break, you breach, you lock, or that's one of the three ways. Or with money, or with a star. Very nice. Now, buy the field. Once you buy the field, yeah, then all metaltalin, even metaltalin that are not in the field, are automatically acquired to you, as long as it was pre-decided, Ellen. Right? In other words, we decided you're going to buy I gave you, I think, a good dugma in Bava Kama, in Bava Basra. I want to sell a shoe factory with all the shoes. There are 10,000 shoes there. You're going to start picking each one? No. Yeah. I'm selling you the factory with you locking the door or painting a picture there or something. Automatically, with our agreement, the kinyan of the karka, Agav, takes along with it, schleps along with it, all the shoes, even shoes that are outside the actual factory, as long as decided. Okay? That's Agav means, by the way, on top of. Now, Frag the Gemara, wait. If so, why again are we stuck? You're telling me now that he has no clothes on. Okay, interesting. Or not clothes he can take off, maybe just wearing minimal clothes. I don't know. But Lamaisa, why can't you give another solution? Karka, Agav, be makne, you Reuven, you're so eager that Shimon would have your money, right? Be makne to him your karka, that granary you're standing in. How? Let him go in and do some change or do something there, build a fence or something. And then the money that is 10 kilometers away will also automatically belong to Shimon. Hey, that's a nice, neat idea. Says the Gemara, delays the karka. He has no karka. What do you mean he has no karka? The Imid Begarin Tani. He just said he's standing in the granary. Says the Gemara, the answer is 2022. Office space for rent. Very common nowadays, right? Office space for rent or granary for rent. Your granary is yours or you rent from others? I rent my granary. Yeah. Says the Gemara, the goren she'ena shaloi. The goren is not his, it's his produce, but he rented the goren from someone else. So this guy has no clothes. I feel bad for him. Yeah, no tznius. And also he has no karka. And that's why no other kinyan can work to acquire the money. And that's why, unfortunately, he has to do the other shtick and trick, and he has to give him the fruit and not the money. Frag the Gemara, in English, I would say, come on. That's the next question, like, duh, like teenagers talk. Are we talking here about a man that is naked and so poor, the leisle veloy klum, he has nothing? In other words, the Gemara portrayed, according to Tosfos Dafka, the Gemara mentioned Agav, even though it's not really the sugya, to say, what are you talking about over here? You're telling me he has no chalifin, right? He has no sudar, no handkerchief, no jacket, no take off your shirt even. It's not the end of the world. You know, it's only two men in the field. Do something. He has no clothes and he has no land. And there's an entire Mishnah that talks about such a situation. It's too much of an ukimta. There's a limit to how much ukimta can take. This says very nicely. Bishlema, if we'd say that chalipin can work, then it's fine. Then we would say, yeah, the guy, yeah, he does chalipin, but he has no land. But now you say chalipin doesn't work. Yeah, you want to tell him the chalipin works, but he doesn't have the clothes, right? He doesn't have clothes and doesn't have karka. That's a punchline. What are we talking about here? Is that a crazy case? And says the Gemara, even homeless people, they have clothes, a little bit, something. Elalav shmami no, says the Gemara, must be da 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 da. Ein matben igna bechalipin shmami no. From this Mishnah we see, because that Mishnah did not mention acquiring the coins that are far away as an option as chalipin, I can accept he has no land. Not everyone owns a land, right? A lot of people don't own apartments, even in America, I know, right? A lot of, yeah, sure. My wife told me one thing. Yeah, they don't. Some people live in the cars in America, you know, and you know more than me. So I'm saying the zach is the person has no land. Seder, he has no land. But what about the chalipin? Of course, he has a piece of clothing on him. He's not naked. Must be chalipin doesn't work for matbeya. And that's going to be now the line. Unbelievable. Just like a matbeya cannot create chalipin, so too matbeya cannot be acquired through chalipin. The question is why? So I said an idea, didn't see anything clear in the Rishonim, maybe I didn't look hard enough. I said an idea which Mechavusa liked very much, Baruch Hashem, to get our stomach from him. And the idea is as follows. What's the idea of chalipin? What's chalipin? To change, to swap. Even if it's not valuable, it's not the same value, the idea is I give X in order to, receive Y. It's reciprocal, right? It's mutual. Reciprocal, thing, the reciprocal. Now. We said that money, according to some opinions, right, cannot serve as the catalyst, as the starter of the chalipin, because it's not real enough. It's just the value that the Israeli government decided, or any government, right? Tomorrow they change their minds. Yeah? We have some people keep lirot. You don't know what lirot are. You do? Yeah. When I was a kid, we used lirot. Yeah, thank you. Very nice. Sell it to the museum, get money. Therefore, money cannot be one side. If it can't be one side, it can't be the other side either. Because the two sides have to correlate. Because chalipin means, by definition, I'm giving something and I want something a little bit similar in return. Even though shoe and a field are different, but they have something similar that they have the same kind of value. They're valuables. That's worth 200 shekels and that's 2 million shekels. Be'etzem, they're both ba'inyanim. B'shenken, yeah, if matbea cannot be the one side, it can't be the other side either. Because it's a mutual thing. That could be, Mechavusa told me afterwards that Rav Arieli said he thinks it's a similar idea. That's a very, very big thing. Yeah. So basically now we are slowly and surely killing currency when it comes to chalipin. Yeah. We want to say that we have a strong tzad to say money cannot create chalipin and money cannot be acquired by the chalipin either, even if the starter was something good. And 1 minute, please. Let's just go. I promise you, I'll listen to you soon. The Afra of Papa himself. No, you can ask now. Actually, you can ask now. Now is what's their currency in North Korea? Find out, please. Yeah. Yeah. Barter. Afra of Papa Hodorbe. Rav Papa himself regretted what he said. Rav Papa himself changed his mind into what? Rav Papa is the one who originally said that money coins can be purchased by chalipin. Now Rav Papa is changing his mind. Especially, we saw the Brisa. We're going to see a story which appears many times in the Bavis. The other Rav Papa was a rich man. Rav Papa was a beer maker in his free time. Yeah, and so to speak. And Rav Papa, what did he do? Like a good rich man, Havule, he had Tresa Alfe Dinori, 12,000 dinarim Bei Chozoi, by the people from Bei Chozoi, and they owed him either by halva. I saw different explanations here. Either it was halva or pikodon, whatever it was. He had money that had to be returned to him from the Bei Chozoi. Okay, the bank of Bei Chozoi, the Shnor of Bei Chozoi. The money was by Bei Chozoi. They have to return it to him. Now that was far away from Rav Papa. It was a different town. Now he's not going to schlep himself. What did he do? He wants to send a shliach. He wants to send a messenger, a shliach, to the other town to get it back for him. Yeah, a delivery boy. That's not so simple. Why? Because let's say that delivery boy would receive the money from Bei Chozoi. Now, the delivery boy himself is not Rav Papa yet, right? The question is why is not Memanim Shliach? That's another shala, proper shlichus. It's not the sugya. Now, there's a problem of achrayus. In other words, if the shliach loses it on the way, the one who may be losing may be Bei Chozoi, because Rav Papa would tell them, hey, excuse me, I didn't receive my money. So Bekitzer, he found a solution. Akninu, he was makne his money that is far away but the other people as a deposit. Here it sounds like more like it's a deposit because he's maknein the Rav Shmuel Bar Acha. Rav Shmuel Bar Acha was the messenger. Rav Papa wants Rav Shmuel Bar Acha, who must have been a very trustworthy man, to now own the money. So now Rav Shmuel Bar Acha is even better than a lawyer with how do you say with the attorney, power of attorney, right? He's mamish the owner. Now the Rav Papa says, listen, my good friend Rav Shmuel Bar Acha, I maknit you the 12,000 dinarim, right? They are yours, yeah? Now you come and collect the money that's yours. And of course, I trust you that the second you come, you'll give it to me. Okay? Very, very nice. How was he maknit the money? The money is 10 kilometers away. How did he give him the money? Well, if Rav Papa originally speaks like he spoke originally, he would say, very easy, Chalifin. Takes half a second. Chalifin is very easy, Kenyan. You could make one. Why not? Handkerchief. Rav Shmuel Bar, he wasn't naked, Rav Shmuel Baracha. Rav Shmuel Baracha can give him a handkerchief, a kepale, a pen, a phone, half a second, and all the money of Papa is why didn't they do that? Right, there is no Chalifin, but why not? You know why not? Because Rav Papa changed his mind and believes now that really Chalifin are not coin at the kesef. That's why there's no Chalifin. So how did he do it? He did Agav. Agav is always our friend. Agav is safe at the base. He did the kinyan agav sefer the beise, which means the one receiving who is Rav Shmuel Bar Ocho, yotz the sefer the threshold, the miftan. He bought the threshold of his house. How? He went there, he changed something, did something, he walked there, he did chazaka over part of the house of Rav Papa, right? And Mimele, and they decided that that kinyan works and applies to all the money in the other hand of the other people. Now continues the story. He also, when Rav Shmuel Bar Ocho made his way back to Rav Papa, Nofak Lape Ad Tavach, he went towards him, he went out to welcome him all the way to the city of Tavach, which means Rav Papa basically welcomed him in the middle of the way. Tavach can also mean middle, yeah? In other words, he was so happy that the job was done, he was so grateful to Rav Shmuel Bar Ocho that he welcomed him all the way to the middle of the road, okay? But the kids, one thing we see from here, the fact Rav Papa himself did not opt for kinyan chalipin, which I'm answering a potential question here. Chalipin is a much easier kinyan than bikoine karka. Bikoine karka, you have to start building, doing, closing, locking. Chalipin is half a second. Boom, one little, the world is yours. Yeah, why didn't do that? Oh, but change his mind, and he thinks chalipin is not good in order to bikoine cash in the other city. No questions now. No questions. Ula is of the same opinion. En matbea nasa chalipin. Matbea. Oh, now we're going back to the original sugya. Matbea cannot become chalipin, meaning cannot create the chalipin. Yeah, cannot do the chalipin as opposed to what we originally said. B'shem Rav Papa. The first side, the creator of the chalipin cannot be, whatever you call. וכן אמר רבי אסי מארץ ישראל אין מטבע נאסא חליפין. וכן אמר רבא בר חנא אמר רבי יוחנן אין מטבע נאסא חליפין. Whoa, overwhelming majority. They created the coalition here, and everybody here thinks that matbea cannot become like the shoe, the item that creates the chalipin. Now, one of the opinions was Ula. Now Ula is going to be grilled by Rabbi Abba, and we have to start this very fascinating, beautiful piece over here. Rabbi Abba is questioning Ula. What did Ula just say? Ula just said that the matbea cannot become chalipin. Now, Rashi points out, and Tosfos points out also, if you say matbea cannot, what you call it? No. If you say matbea cannot be the passive one, as we proved from the Mishnah, let's see the structure here. We proved from the Mishnah of the not naked guy, of the guy who has clothes on, yeah? What did we prove? That matbea cannot benefit from chalipin, cannot be acquired, right? Okay? If it cannot be acquired, kol sheken, it cannot create the chalipin. Excuse my example. What's harder, to bake a cake or to eat the cake? Yeah. In other words, if the matbea cannot passively be acquired by chalipin, kol sheken, the matbea cannot create the chalipin. It can be a passive bywatch, a passive thing. Of course, it not to be the initiator, the starter, a badanot. And because this Mishnah says, prove to us that there is no chalipin bekinyan to become nikne, of course, matbea cannot create the chalipin, and that's what we hold now, and that seems to be the halacha. However, comes the question. All right, listen to the following case, which again has to do with ribit. A person walks down the market nicely and happily and gingerly. All of a sudden, he meets his angry chamorim and poyalim. Chamor are donkey drivers, not the donkeys, and the workers. And they say to him, pay us now. We are from the Histadrut, we are from the guild, yeah? And we demand you to pay us now. Looks like they were not paid and they want to be paid now. Now, he doesn't have cash on him. He walks around, no credit card or cash. He was just walking to stroll with his family. So he goes to the nearby ATM. The Omer L'Shulchoni is now asking the banker, Tenli bedinar mo'ois the farnisim. Give me dinar, give me mois, give me the small coins worth a dinar. Give me dinar worth of small change. Yeah, I'll give the poyalim, I'll give my workers their parnusa and get them off my back. I need it now. I don't have cash now. ואני אעלה לך יופה דינר בתרייסיס ממועד שיש לי בבייסי. I have at home, what I have at home, I have also yofe dinar in the Hava many means I have a dinar at home plus traces. You give me now dinar, and when I can, I'll give you dinar plus, and additionally, not losing, you'll get also a traces, which is a small coin at top. So you lend me now 100, and I'll give back 101. That's perfect. Is there any halachic problem here? What? Yeah. Really? Jews are not allowed to learn an interest? I didn't know. Okay. The question screams to high heaven. No, they were both Jewish. I thought of that. The question, how can this be written? Let's continue. Which means softening the blow, and this will probably be tomorrow. Stop fascinating sugya. If Mr. Borrower, yeah, has money in his house right now as they're talking, yeah, he lives in a rich suburb 5 kilometers away, right? Okay. If in his drawer in his house he has cash of dinar v'tresis, yeah, and now he's borrowing from who? From the money changer, then it's okay, even though he's adding. Still the question stays, but from some reason that makes it better. However, if he does not have cash anywhere, yeah, he will get cash tomorrow, the borrower, then it's a problem of a ribis. Obviously, the problem is, how come it's not ribis? So I'll start the answer, slowly but surely. Chalifin. Who said it's a alva? It's not even a shtik. I'm buying money, and I'm selling you money. It's not alva. In other words, no, seriously. Let's say when you buy money from the money changer, as my daughter is now in Shidduchim used to call it the money shop, yeah? I buy money in the money shop, and I give him money for money. I buy money for money. Then I can say, that's not ribis. Yeah, let's say somebody really loves my phone and is willing to pay 1,000 shekels for this phone, bevakasha, then later we decided on a higher price, even though the phone is worth maybe 100. In other words, if we decided that really money is what? That I am now lachutz, I'm pressurized to pay those people who are after me. So for me, it's worth it to buy 100 and pay you with 101, yeah, providing that it's in my house. Why? Chalifin. Looks like that's kin and chalifin. It's not halva. The money in my house is not owed to you. It's owned by you with an N. It's yours. That's how chalifin works, right? So looks like money is nikne b'chalifin. Bad news for all of you people. A whole load of anti-chalifin people here. Let's read one more line. The E, yeah. The E salka. The E salka daitach ein matbea nasa chalifin. If you say matbea is not chalifin, then havil alva also. Then it's alva and it's forbidden. Ishtik kept quiet. Ula was stumped. He didn't know what to say to the question of Rabbi Abba. Let's just again summarize the question. If we say that the transaction here was not alone, really not alone, I'm buying money off you, Mr. Banker Money Changer, yeah, and you're not waiting one tiny bit. The whole idea of riba, says Rashi, is you have to wait for your money, and I'm paying you for waiting for your money. That's terrible. It's called agar natar. Mark the words. We'll have a lot of them in future. But if you say that the second your money changer came into my pocket, then my money is absolutely owned by you. It's yours. Technically, you could drive there right now to my house and take it. That's not called ribis. I'm buying 100 shekels for 101 shekels without waiting one tiny second. That should be mutter even with the Rabbanon. I must be, and seems to be that that's the story here. And according to you people, it's wrong because you say that Chalifin doesn't work. So how come it's not ribis? He kept quiet and stopped, but soon the answer will come in the morrow. Hatzlocha Rabba b'chol inyonim.